Hello everyone, my name is Antonio Rodriguez of Ideas Soft Flores, and today's video we will be going and continuing on the Guitarron. Now, in last video we actually went over the very basic things, very basic fundamentals of posture, making sure that our left hand is in a good position up here, and then our right hand is in a good position, always above the sound hole, never up here, never down here, but just right above the sound hole. And with always good plucks, you're going to want to place your thumb down and any of the fingers that we're going to go over. Last video, we went over just the A, so we used our thumb and middle finger. Thumb on the thickest metal string, A, and middle finger on the last nylon string, also A. And if you were to pluck them upwards, you're going to get a good rebound sound. Now, we only went over that in the last video, very basic fundamentals. Now it's going to be a little bit more complex now that we actually start adding the different fingerings and actually going up the notes and all the scales. So I'm going to walk up it just like we would in the alphabet, okay? So we're going to start with A, and then walk up to the next highest note in the musical scale and also in the alphabet, which is B. Now the great thing about B is it literally all you do is you add the same fingerings as you would for A on the right hand. Now on the left hand. Now they're both going to be playing the same thing when you play A and then B, because if you notice, this is A and this is also B. You're still plucking the same strings, because what makes the note higher is that you're going and pressing down the fingers on the string. If you don't press them down strong enough, it's going to come out like this. The note's not even going to speak, because you really need to push it down and make sure that the fingers are leveled to the fretboard to get that good pluck. Okay? And of course, make the sound go out. No note would happen if you don't even pluck it or tell the string where you want to place it to play the note. Now let's go higher, and the way that you play B is going to be with the thumb and the middle finger on, once again, the A strings, the end strings, A, B. Now we're going to get a little bit complex. Now this time we're going to release the middle finger, and now we're going to keep the thumb, but we're going higher to C. So this is A, B. Now C higher is going to be right here. A, B, C. Now we got the low octave of C. Now we need to find the top octave. Okay? So now let's just go over the string names. So we already found A, and then we already found B, B, and we found C on the low end. But now where is C in the middle or the nylon strings? Because that's how they work together. One metal and one nylon usually. Now the C note is actually, so we have A on the end nylon, and then the second to end is E, and then the third to end is C. So this will be the other string that we pluck. So now with your right hand, you're now going to change the fingering. So both hands are going to change fingerings now for C. Now for C, your left hand is going to become much easier. Now you're going to just release your middle finger and move it up from B to C. And then with your right hand, so you got A, B. Now C, you're now going to move your middle finger to now the index finger. So now your thumb and index finger work together. Now, your thumb is once again going to continue playing that low A string for C, but your index is going to move from that A string on the nylon side and it's going to move to the third string, which is the C. So you play those together, and that's C, and there's the octave. So you got A, B, C. Okay, now let's go on to the next note. Now this is going to be D. Now let's find the metal strings. Now the metal string names are A, then D, the next note we will be playing, and then G. So if you were to think about it, it's just going down in fourths. Okay? So it starts with A, then it goes to D, then D goes to G, then G goes to C. Okay, and then from there it goes back up. And then drops back down to A. Okay, so now that we found A, B, C, now let's find D. D, once again, now move from the A string to the D string, and that's where you'll pluck on the thumb. Now we need to find the D on the nylon strings. So since you're just going higher, we're going to start on the C, the third string. Okay, that's C, but we need to make it higher to D. So C, D. Okay, so D is going to be around this first fret, a little bit above it, and that is D. So the octaves would be thumb on the second metal string, D, and then your index finger on the right hand will now be still on C, and then you're going to pluck upwards. Now with the left hand, change that fingering to the middle finger, and that's D. So D. Let's walk up from A, B, C, D. So I'm now just bringing my index, thumbs out, rings out, pinkies out, and only my middle finger is playing on the third nylon string, which was C, but now that it's playing right here, it's raising the C to D. And the thumb is just playing the open D string together, octave D. Okay. Now we're gonna go higher to E. Now, as you notice, it's like we're just alternating, right? Strings just keep alternating. Thumb is gonna be changing, but the other nylon strings stay, but the thick strings stay, but the nylon strings change. Okay, so now this is the next thing. Now we already did the A, B, C, change the string to D. Now we're gonna stay on the same D string, but now raise the D to E by placing our, now instead of just your middle finger, the metal strings are heavier, so you're gonna want to press two fingers down. These two fingers will be your middle and your ring. So rock out, middle and ring. Okay, thumb and the other fingers are just out like that. They're not going to be doing anything. So that is E on the D string. Now, if we go over the plastic strings, they're A, E, C, but the note we need is E. So E is a second string. So you're going to mix the low octave E on the D string, move it up to E on the middle and ring finger. Then you're going to take your index finger and press it and change it, because you were on C for the C and D note. Now you're going to E, so now you move it to the second string, and that's E. Okay. Now we're going to go up to F, and F is actually going to go right here. This one is going to be a little bit more complex because now you're using 3 fingers on the left hand. Okay, so F, now you're going to stay with the E string once again, and you're going to stay with the D string again. So cool thing is, just like the A did with the B, A and B were the same strings, same fingers. Well, that's how it's going to be now with F. Same strings, now different fingers. Okay, now we're going to keep the E position, but just move it up for E, F. So D string open, E string, E note, then F note. So as you notice, the middle and the ring finger from E to F stay the same. But what adds to it is that F now. Because now E was open, just open nylon string. But now that we moved up on F to the low string, we need to move up on that E string as well. And now we just place our index finger on the very, very top of the E string. And keep the same right hand position and pluck. Now G, as we're approaching the last note, now G usually can be played 2 ways. Some guitarrons play it just simply by playing the G string and plucking it nice and good. Or they also do the octave as well, which the octave, all you do is just stay on the E string, go up from E, F, and then move to G. And you would do that with your ring finger only, because it's not that strong of a note. It's just it's actually the thinnest nylon string, so you'll be able to play it nice. Okay, and then after the G string, you just return back to A, the N strings, and that you just played an entire basically C scale and an A minor scale. So A minor, because we walked up technically the alphabet of the English, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Then in musical alphabet, from G it goes back to A. So that's actually a minor scale. And then you also can take that and now move the fingers up from A to starting on C with the same fingering positions. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and end on C. And with those same fingering positions I just taught you, you played the C scale, because all of them are natural. Okay, now that completes the video. In the next one, we will start going over arpeggios and now adding flats and sharps. Thank you, everyone.